Hi everybody, this is Gary Fong, and I'm going to be giving a presentation called How to Create a Very Dramatic Photo Studio Anywhere at Any Time. Now, one of the things about flash photography that a lot of people don't really consider is that flash needs to be thought of as two separate exposures going on at the same time. So for example, when you're shooting in available light, there is one shot that is being taken by your camera, and that is controlled by the camera's aperture and shutter speed. The second shot is taken by your camera's TTL system. This camera TTL system is very important because it's practically perfect for exposure. And so what happens is when you shoot on manual, you have complete creative control over the mixture between your ambient light and your available light. And that's done through high-speed sync. High-speed sync and ETTL gives you the power to basically shoot and eliminate the background light completely or mix it in to whatever you want. The elimination of the background light is really cool when you're doing special effects with off-camera flash, and the mixture of the available light with a slower exposure is really great for when you're shooting available light indoors. So up here on the screen are some before and after examples of what I'm talking about, and I'm actually going to show you demonstrations on exactly how to do this, and it'll be button by button. So what I'd like you to know is that if you want to understand how to do any of this stuff, simply go to my YouTube channel, just search for Gary Fong, and I've got almost 600 videos there teaching you step by step how to put your flash into a working position, as well as with your cameras. So up here you'll see some before and afters. And what I've done here is I've got an available light photo, which I'll do comparisons of available and after. And then I've got blue, purple, red, and green backgrounds that will change in just a minute simply by using my color kit. Right here is a dramatic black and white photo that I did right in the middle of a brightly lit trade hall, simply with one snoot only. And this right here shows the dramatic example of available light versus off-camera flash when you're shooting outdoors. Remember, when you're shooting available light, the light controls you. If you've got like a shoot to do and it's cloudy or rainy or whatever, a lot of times photographers will go ahead and reschedule that entire shoot. But if you're a photographer that understands how to do flash, it doesn't matter what the background is. You control the light. So again, you can eliminate the light completely that's available, that might be offending or awful, and then you can use flash to fill in the holes. So in other words, if you're an available light photographer, the light controls you. You have to find the light. If you're a flash photographer that understands how to use flash, then you control the light. It's much more creative that way. So today I'm going to be using the brand new 2014 system. For 2014, we revamped my entire product line from bottom to the top, and we have a couple new products. The first one right here that I'd like to show you is called the Light Blade. The Light Blade is our newest flash for people who just want something that they can throw in their bag and has a very large diffusion system. It mounts on the camera just like the light sphere. The only difference is you can't put domes on it and the other accessories that come with the light sphere. But it is flat, and it's a shoot-through diffuser, so it has all of these half spheres that'll take the light and completely spread them around. Right here we have the new Puffer Plus. The new Puffer Plus is twice as large as the other one, and of course twice as large makes it much softer, because the rule in photography is the larger the light source, the softer the light. And that's a principle that I always used with the light sphere, because what the light sphere does is it sends light completely around the room and to the ceiling in a unidirectional pattern, thereby making the walls and the light behind you and the ceiling, all of them your light source. So this is twice as large. It also has diffusion surfaces on both sides. On the front we have half spherical balls, and on the back we have pyramids. And so what happens is when the light goes through, it completely scatters in shape. Now another thing about my products that you'll notice is that we don't use dyes in the light sphere. Right here you can see right through and see my fingers. Even though it looks like we put some kind of a cloudy material, it's not. And the reason why we don't put that in is because it reduces the output of the flash. It's like shooting through a piece of paper. Anytime that you put any type of dye or something like that on it, it winds up making the flash less powerful. Now this right here is the new Generation 5 light sphere. It's vastly improved over any of our other light spheres. First of all, we've got a bigger throat, and it mounts very, very easily on the larger heads. So you just basically put it on like this, give it one pull on the strap, and then watch how strong it fits. It's not going to fall off, and that's something that's very, very important to an event photographer. You don't want your diffuser to fall off while you're in the middle of a shoot. And if you want to go ahead and shoot in direct flash, all you need to do is put it back, and then now you've got direct flash. So in other words, you can leave this on all day long. What's also nice about it is it comes with system accessories. And these system accessories now all come into this cool gear bag, because all of our stuff is about this size, so you can fit all these conical pieces into the single gear bag and take it around and then just reach in and grab whatever you need. So what do we have inside the kit? We've got the grid, which is the grill. That's for spotlight effect. We have the amber dome, which is, I'll show you what that does for warming and changing the color balance in the sky. The gray dome is extremely important. This comes in all of our kits now. This is used for custom white balance. And I'm going to show you the importance of custom white balance today. This is the white dome. That's for low ceilings and also incident color white balance measurements. And then these are our color tabs: amber, red, blue, and green. And those go into the throat of the light sphere or the light sphere collapsible snoot, making you able to change the colors very, very quickly by simply dropping in the tab. And then this right here is the light sphere collapsible snoot. So here is an example of controlling the light versus having the light control you. I basically went around, and I like to do this, try to find the most ugly background that I could find and simulate those situations. Because, you know, for example, if I were to shoot in a situation like that, I've got sun coming down on her nose, I've got really bright backlit background, I would definitely want to find shade or better light. But if I don't want to move the model and very, very quickly get a really great shot, then all I need to do is simply set up one off-camera flash, put the camera on high-speed sync, and use a radio like I'll show you today. We have just a lot of fun with off-camera flash and high-speed sync. This right here is an example of the same thing. This is available light. I was in midday sun, and the light was just terrible. What I did here was the regular on-camera flash or flash fill. This one right here, I took it off-camera flash and used high-speed sync. And I'll show you how that all works today. But look at the sky in the background. It's dark blue. And you'll also notice the clouds are out of focus. The reason they're out of focus is because I shot this at a wide open aperture. I think it was f1.8. So therefore, I can actually shoot at f1.8 outdoors if I use high-speed sync. Now let me make a very, very important distinction for you. The large studio power packs that I used to use do not shoot over 1/250th of a second. They only shoot up to 1/250th of a second because they don't incorporate the TTL system. The flashes that I use are the Phottix Mitros Plus, and the reason why I use them is because they have a built-in radio. They have a transmitter and a receiver. You can switch the modes, and I'll show you how powerful that is. But I've been a fan of Phottix for quite a long time. They never approached me. They never asked me if I could promote their products. I simply bought their products, and I had all the other ones. I had the Pocket Wizard and the Radio Poppers, and I just started doing YouTubes about the Phottix products because they're bulletproof and they work so well. Really excited about the new one with the integrated radio. For example, in the United States, I could get one of these for, I think, around $300 street price. It's about $550 or $450, I believe, for the manufactured brand. Or it's either $400 for this and $550. There's quite a price difference, but the OEM does not have a built-in radio. And that built-in radio is something that I'm going to use all the time. For example, right here, look at this awful lighting that I have. I mean, it is just midday sun. We literally pick noon. I'm shooting 1/8,000th of a second at f1.8, and boom, look at that. So I have the ability to shoot at a wide open aperture, at a fast shutter speed, darken the ambient light, and control my background like that. Here's another thing that I can do. This is really cool. By simply putting on the amber dome on the front of the light sphere, I can turn a very blah, cloudy day into blue skies. Let me show you how that's done. I put the camera on tungsten mode. Tungsten mode changes the entire world blue, and then by putting on the amber dome, even though the subject's blue, the amber dome corrects out the blue on the subject and therefore simulates a cloudy sky. And that's not something, or simulates a blue sky. And that's not something that you could do in Photoshop. Photoshop can't give you this level of precision. I'm going to do some demos real quick to show you how this entire situation works. So again, this is the Phottix Mitros Plus, and this has four different modes. One mode is on camera TTL, so this comes for all the different camera manufacturers, Sony, Nikon, and Canon. And when I put it on camera flash, the default mode will be TTL. Okay, so I'm just going ahead and turn it on right now, and it's on TTL. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on camera flash versus the light sphere, and I'll show you the difference. Now again, with the light sphere, it is a unidirectional source. That means the light goes completely all around. And if you'll see up here, we have a black ceiling with a lot of height. So a lot of times people say, oh, well, really, all you're doing is bouncing off the ceiling. There's a world of difference between bounce flash and bounce with fill. And that's what the light sphere is. The light sphere gives you a ratio. It gives you a ratio between your bounce and your fill. So some light goes to the ceiling, some light goes completely all around. And this was actually inspired by the lampshade. When digital flash first came out, I was really kind of wigged out because all of the flash photos looked like they were shot with a car headlights. And that's because the shape of the flash inside is parabolic. And what that gives you is a omnidirectional or direct flash look, which casts a large shadow. With the light sphere, the light goes completely around, and you get a really natural light. So I'll show you the difference here. Another thing that I wanted to show you is when you're shooting with the light sphere, turn the head sideways so that you can shoot vertical or horizontal very quickly without a bracket. If I didn't do that, then I would have to turn, twist, and then put it up. And that's much slower. So what you wind up doing is you wind up using your left hand as kind of a pivot, and you can shoot high and aim down, or low and shoot up, and it's very, very handy that way. Okay, so let's do some before and after pictures. Okay, so here's our first one with direct flash. Okay, and so I'll show you guys this. There's a nice distinct shadow behind her. And that's telltale because the flash does that. The flash will send all of the light 100% at your subject, and what that does is that is a very, very shadow type of thing because it's basically like a cone. Now the difference is I'm just going to take it, simply aim it up, and again, we have no ceiling to bounce this off of, so we're just relying on this as a fill, and it's nice to have two walls around me. Okay, so go ahead and look right here, and okay. And let's do one without the flash, just so you guys can see what that looks like. Okay, so those are examples here. This is the available light, and then with a light sphere, and then here I have direct flash. The goal of flash is to not look like it's flash, and that's basically what I've dedicated my career to doing, is making accessories that make the flash invisible, but also create quite a lot of magic with them. So what I'm going to do now with my Phottix Mitros is I'm going to go ahead and take it off, and I'm going to change it into radio mode, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing with my snoots. I'm going to take this flash and turn it into a receiver. All I need to do is press the MS button, hold it down, and then it'll give me a menu, and I'll turn this into an Odin receiver. Now, With this in receiver mode, I'm going to put on one of my snoots, and we're going to start doing some light shaping. With the light shaping, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the background and then build the light up simply by using my strobes. So this right here is the light sphere collapsible snoot. And you can put gels inside it. On this one, I'm going to put the grill on. And what the grill is going to do is it's going to give you light that's completely conical in shape. And I'll just go ahead and turn this forward. Now, I'll put this on a light stand. Now, let me show you what I do for light stands. I get one of these really small, inexpensive, folding light stands. Phottix has them, and they fold back into itself. I don't know which model it's called. So this one right here is now on receiver mode, and I have it on channel 2B. I'm going to change this to channel 2A, which means power group A. And the reason why I want to have different power groups is because I can then define a ratio between one flash or the other. And on the Odin receivers, it's real simple. There's two buttons or two slide switches. One is for the 4 different channels, A, B, C, D, and then, the 4 different power groups, A, B, C, D, and then the 4 different channels. So right now I'm going to put this one on channel 2 and then A. And then I'm going to have it on just regular TTL, and I can do just a whole bunch of cool things with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is, of course, throw this guy on. And I have like a little roller ball here. What I like about the roller ball is I can just put it in position, let go, and I've got myself a very nice positioning. So what I'll do here is I'm going to have this kind of go up, and we'll make a very dramatic lighting. Can you tell me when you're looking right straight into the bottom right there? Is that good? Okay, and then don't look right at it. Okay, so now let's take I've got one of my receivers here. So again, on this, I can use this or one of the Mitros pluses as a transmitter. Now watch what happens right here. I've got basically an A, B, and a C mode for the power, and I have the A power group, which is this guy, on regular TTL, the B behind her, which is on -2. But I'm going to go ahead and turn the back one off right now. Actually, I'll just turn this guy off. Very simple. Okay, now I'm on high-speed sync. So I'm going to put the camera in manual. If you'll remember in the very beginning of the program, I was talking about how you can use the camera to control the available light and the TTL system to control the light that's going to be molding your subject. So I'm going to put the camera on manual mode, and then I'm going to take that shutter speed by pressing the high-speed sync button right here, all the way up to, let's take this all the way up to 1/8,000th of a second at f/2.8. Why not? And then we'll put the ISO, take it all the way down to 100. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just go ahead and test this, do my first shot. Okay. And this is the effect that I'm getting. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's very, very dramatic, and it's instantaneous. Now do one with just regular available light so you can see, but it's so simple. You simply put a very inexpensive flash on a stand, swivel it, position it, and then shoot. Now let me do one with available light, so I'll just go ahead and turn the flash off so we can see the difference. And put it on program. Yeah, good. Okay, so that's available light. And then now I'm going to have a little bit more fun. I'm going to put this one in black and white, just for fun, and see how that works. So I'm going to put this mode in black and white mode. And let's do some black and white photography. Very dramatic. One more. Let's turn our face toward, yeah, except a little bit, oh, do that, yeah. Oh, wow, okay, a little bit more toward me, good. I know I get excited. Thank you. Okay, I want you guys to see this. Now, I've got a Phottix sign behind her, right? Look at this. You can't do this with available light. You can't get effects like this and not have to set up a background. I literally have a black background, basically, behind her. Let's go back to color. The rear light I'm going to turn on, and it's going to be very, very cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have the rear light become a red background. And the way that I did that is very simply, if you guys can see, I just put my red dome and filter on the rear, and I'm pointing it at the wall. Now this one in the back is on power group B. B is at -2 exposure value, exposure compensation. Now why do I want a color to go -2? The reason why I want the color to go -2 is because the way that metering works is it'll give you gray. 18% gray is middle gray. If you do TTL on red, what's the middle of red? It's pink. We don't want pink, we want dark, dark red. So by putting it on -2, I'm able to get a very dramatic effect. Okay, so now we're in color, and we have 2 lights going, and I want you guys to see this. It's very, very dramatic. I'm going to put this over here even more. Just a little bit. Is this pointing at you? Right at you? Like that now? Okay, great. Okay. And I'm all set. And good deal. Perfect. Okay, one more like that right here. Turn a little bit more toward the light. Yeah, yeah. Just like that. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have here. Very, very dramatic lighting. And that's the fun, to mix the 2 lightings together. So I have one light coming from the dome and one going onto the wall. Let's move the chair and everything a little bit more forward. Perfect. I'm going to go further back because there's a Phottix sign. I'm going to wipe that out. Remember, I can control the mix of ambient and available. So I'm going further back now. This is almost full length. And I'm going to do one in available light just to show you what that looks like. And perfect. Now, the last thing I want to show you is custom white balance. Custom white balance is something that if you ever do video, or actually anything, custom white balance gives you perfect color. So this dome right here isn't for lighting, it's for light measurement. And the way that this works is when you put it on your subject, it will give you the color of the light that's hitting your subject. This is completely neutral gray. So it makes sense that if you have this being hit with, say, a pink colored light, then you're going to have some light contamination. So the way that we use this is I'll have the subject hold this literally over the nose, like that, for one shot, and then that's how we'll measure the light. So I'll let you go ahead and do that. So what happens here, as you'll notice, is that the light that's coming onto the dome is the light from all different directions, and that's very important. When you're using a flat board, or anything flat, light doesn't go around corners, and so you'll only see the angle that's coming at the piece of paper. When you move the paper just a little bit, the light and the exposure completely changes. In this case, this is round and picks up everything above, the sides. So if you have a red brick wall here and a window and tungsten light overhead, we're going to figure out how to measure all of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera into measurement mode. So under custom white, under my white balance, I'm going to ask it to go to custom setup. And then this is very, very simple. I'm just going to take the measurement circle and I'm going to try to fill it with my little circle guy here. And then it'll take one measurement shot, and that's it. And this right here is the definition of perfect color. because what it does is it measures that little dome. And this says that the light temperature that's hitting the model is 5500 K. And once I have that now, I have perfect color. The other thing you can do is have that as the first shot when you're shooting in the regular lighting, as long as the lighting doesn't change. And what will happen is you can use that with Lightroom or any of your other editing tools to calculate neutral and then make one preset from that. Okay? Anyway, that's honestly just a small example of the things that you can do with my products in 2014.